Okay, folks, this is part 2 for level 5. So hopefully you've already watched part 1. If not, please go watch part 1 first. Okay, so part 2, we'll talk about composing your melody, but I'll just do a very quick review of part 1 first, okay? So in part 1, I showed you a rhythm that I'm going to use to compose my melody, and that rhythm has a dotted quarter note, and it has a rhythm tie, and that rhythm tie crosses over a bar line, so it stretches the note into beat 1 of the next bar. Okay, so I know I did this in part 1, but very quickly I'm just going to count this for you again as review. 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could hear that dotted quarter note that stretches the note into the first half of beat 2. So it's 1.5 beats long. And we've got the rhythm tie here that ties the quarter note and the eighth note together and stretches this note into the first half of beat 1. So a rhythm tie can be used to stretch a note over the bar line into the next bar. Okay. All right. And the other thing we looked at, and just a very quick review, is inversion. So taking our triad C, E, G, C major, and just flipping the notes around into a different order, E, G, C, but it's the same triad, C, E, G, just a different order. F, A, C, flipping it around, C, F, A. Okay. And one more time, we'll flip this one down here, B, D, G. Okay, it's the same 3 notes, so it's still G major. Okay, so let's look at what we've got here. So you have to compose your own melody. So you're not writing a variation, you're writing your own original melody. The notes for each triad are shown in the staff below your melody line. Down here are the notes for the triad. Your melody must include at least one dotted quarter note and at least one rhythm tie that crosses a bar line. Make sure your melody ends with a C note, which is already written for you. So this note here at the end, C, it's not going to change. I want you to keep that the same. Okay, so down here are our broken triads. When I say broken, I mean they're not stacked on top of each other. Here is a solid triad because all the notes happen at the same time, okay? But these are broken triads because it's one note at a time. And here's the inversion, C, E, G, C, F, A. So C's on the bottom, but it's F major, C, E, G, and B, D, G. So G major, but G's on the top, B is on the bottom, okay? So let's just listen to what that sounds like. Okay, very exciting. So this is not going to change at all. This is just giving you some triads that you're going to compose a melody along with, okay? So and the notes that you're going to use are just the notes that belong in the triad. So C, E, G, but you can use any C that you want. You can use low C, you can use middle C, you can use C up there, you can use G or G up there, you can use E or E right there, okay? So you don't have to use the same C, E, G order or pattern that I showed you. You just have to make sure that the only notes that you're using are C, E, G to belong in C major, okay? And other than that, you can create whatever kind of melody you want so long as you're including a dotted quarter note and a rhythm tie that crosses a bar line. So let's look at my example that I composed already. And I've got a dotted quarter note right at the beginning. And here is my rhythm tie that crosses the bar line. And this rhythm is the same as this one, okay? 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. and then the same rhythm repeats again, not with all the same notes, but the same rhythm. Okay? Just checking my time. Don't want to run out of time on my video. Okay, so I took that rhythm that I created and I just used the notes of the triad: C, G, E, G, A, F, A, C, A, C, C, G, E, C, E, G, B, B, D, G. So all the notes that I'm using are the notes that directly belong in that triad. I shouldn't see any notes that don't come from these triads here. Okay, and let's look at my rhythm tie. Now I've mentioned this in class, but it's a common mistake I'm seeing. A rhythm tie needs to be connected to a note that is the same. So C needs to connect to C. Okay, if I connected this to, let's say, I'm in F major, so let's say I had A connected to a C. Well, that's not a rhythm tie because it's two different notes. It's not going to stretch the note longer. In order for it to be a rhythm tie, it has to be the same note. So whatever note you're using, it needs to be connected to the same note. Okay? Otherwise, it's just called a slur, and it just tells you to make the notes smooth when you're playing them. Okay? Not connect them. All right, so let's listen to the melody that I wrote for you. Okay, so that's the melody I wrote for you. And just for fun, and I'll show you a little trick here. So I'm going to select this bar. And if you ever want to select more than one bar at a time, select one bar and hold down Shift. And then if you click on the next bar and the next bar and the next bar, then you can select as many bars as you want. I'm holding down Shift the whole time on my keyboard, holding down Shift while I'm clicking, okay? So I'm just going to select the whole bottom row, and I'm going to delete that. We'll put it back later, but I want you to just listen to the melody without the triads, just so you can hear the melody that I wrote, okay? Okay, so that's what I wrote, and then we had the triads on the bottom. Now, let's notice that I used a 4-bar rhythm, and then I repeated the 4-bar rhythm pattern. So I'm repeating the same idea twice. Let's also look at these 2 bars here, the first 2 bars on each line, here and here. And if you look closely, you will see they are exactly the same. The rhythm is the same, the notes are the same. So repeating the same idea in a composition is really important. Okay, when you listen to a piece of music, they use the same thing over and over and over again in their melody. It's not every bar is brand new all the time. Okay, so I'll put that back in just by going undo. And let's just listen to it one more time. Okay, and I'm pretty happy with that. So that means I get to go and connect and turn it in, and then you're done level 5. So just a reminder, you need to have a rhythm dot, you need to have a rhythm tie that crosses a bar line, and all the notes that you use need to belong to the triads for each bar. Okay, and if you do that, then you're free to be as creative as you want. And great work. And I look forward to listening to your compositions.